I am a posthumanist, and what that amounts to, at least in my particular emergent tradition of thought, that I think was complementary to humanism back in the Enlightenment period when that was coming to the fore, and the epicenter of the universe was placed on humanity, the anthropos, us, in at least some traditions of humanism. And everything was held as a measure, put in relation to us, not only in the subjective sense, but also in the objective sense, literally placing all of our considerations here, in the past, and into the future, in the hands of we, metaphysically, ontologically, what the universe is and what the beings in that universe are, I think was a grievous mistake. And this is coming from a person who was very humanist for quite some time on his journey through becoming irreligious. And what the alternative can be is realizing the ecology of all beings, constituents, elements that come together to make the whole of what we experience in reality, which is the primary thrust of all of my intellectual pursuits, philosophic desires, the creative works that represent me and embody my ideations. No, 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 no. We don't do that around here. No, 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 no! Cease! Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh shit. No touch. Because that's simply the case. None of us are disconnected, and neither are we the epicenter of anything. Metaphysically, ontologically, epistemically, we are but part of it, not to say that we can't have a significant participation in it. And that's where the modernist flow takes its point. I don't believe that simply because of our lack of epicentricity, we can't be objective. We are composed of objects. We are objects in and of ourselves, and therefore we produce purpose. Living things do that. And Mary Shelley's Frankenstein grants a, depending on how you read it, very, very good introductory perspective to what posthumanism can be from the perspective of the monster. Rejection from the perspective of the monster, of the exceptionality of humanity. The idea that all of the characteristics that we consider to be essential differentiae of humans can only be and are only possessed by humanity. Even if other differentiae and similaria, these things that distinguish and unite as a universal category, are not possessed by others. At least in the immediate, not to say that that can't happen, as best represented in the unnamed monster. They really don't like my eyes, do they? The author's note really does offer quite some grounding, footing, concretization of what was, at least in my listening to an audiobook, quite detached from the individual herself. In my various readings and analyses of these things, I am one of the folks who does very much separate the creator from the creation, artist from the art. And I think that is extraordinarily important for understanding the work as the work, partially because, naturally, we don't have the complete set of information relating to the creation of anything, unless it is guaranteed to have somehow been an absolute isolation and yet come out to its own, even from the minds of young children at the earliest stage of development that they can begin to form whole sentences in their native language. We're never guaranteed to know it all. Taking a look at the work in and of itself, what it stands for on its own merits, what it says with its own words, rather than being some mere sock puppet of the supposed creator, who in and of themselves is an amalgam of the many things that preceded them, whether they are aware of it or not, at the end of an extraordinarily long causal chain of events that brought them to bear in the moment such that they could create. That is interesting. Why the eyes specifically? I haven't been able to really get up close and personal with one of the necromorphs, but maybe damaging the optic, like... Oh, hell. Well, there's an opportunity. Hey, now! That's not how that was supposed to— Oh, hell! Resonates very personally with me, as when I began with my journey into fiction, while not specifically horror, something much more entailing that brings in as much horror as the supernality of grand and beauteous visions, not so different from what Mary herself espouses. I was thoroughly disenfranchised with the narratives, structures, meanings, the interpretations between those two that were part of the standard package that I was supposed to toe the line of. It began with simply participating in my early childhood, as I'm sure many experience, of being quite the outsider, politically, socially, having been bestowed the inheritance of not only my parents' happenstances, but also the baggage of being in the Bible Belt, with all of the things that that entails of a small town. So it was in drawing, video games, fiction, fantasy novels, the little scraps of history from things like world atlases and the like, thrust me into wishing to at least see, reproduce, extend what I had already seen. No. Well, that's not quite as effective as I would have hoped for, but... Oh, shit! No, 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 hold still. Eventually, it was through the experience of, in my young adulthood, finally discovering D&D, 5th edition particularly, and Warhammer, Warhammer 40k, Lord of the Rings, things of the like, that I was first exposed to fictions, worlds, entire universes that could live and breathe in their own right, that without the dreamer, once the dream, still dreamt on. And while it was mostly for the point of escapism back then, as I was quite a desperate person in the conditions of my life, now it has become a mode, an avenue, through which I and others can experience recognitions, participate in truths that exceed the meta-narratives that we are seated with from birth, by proxy of simply being alive in the time and place that we are, and being able to take the various differences and similarities that exist in reality and rearrange them in such a fashion as to, with internal consistency, play out the trajectories of all of these ideas, consider the consequences of all things which we might take in. And while I don't know for certain if that was Mary Shelley's desire, I think that given its relevance now more than ever, of the othering, dehumanization, disintegration of peoples who we know share our humanity, what makes us us as a species, rather than as disparate tribes, in the same way as mine will, it lives on too. Oh. Hey, it does explode! Preface itself seems to very much support my position on separating the artist from the art, in that Mary Shelley makes it clear that while the characters might feel the way characters do, that does not itself reflect the internal, at least morality, if not philosophic doctrines, of the creator, and I'm inclined to agree. Another thing that pushes me towards the perspective is that if we as artists necessarily must abide by everything that we create, every agent or machination which comes with necessary commitments, extensions, and intentions, then we are at the very least hamstringing, if not tightening the noose directly around, every single creative mind, progeny, which are of infinite value, not only for demonstrating as I would the trajectories of these things, but also for the sheer pleasure of storytelling, weaving narrative, unbridled expression, challenge to ourselves and to others, to see what they may see, to press the mind's eye. And alongside that, that is all things. Creators themselves are indexic. They rely upon their environs, their ecologies of things, of the ontologies as matters of fact. Else, what would they pull from? Else, with what paint might one cover their canvas? Yo. They was thirsty, guys. It was the caffeine withdrawals that got them. I'm not usually very much a fan of exposition dumps, but I think that, especially given the age and the means by which it is accommodated by letter, a thorough explanation of motives, intentions, desires, it's assembled very artfully in a fashion that, while it normally might not be sufficient, depending on the setting by which the story is being told, considering what we read of historic letters of this time in the 1700s, as well as earlier, and the stoic bent that often comes along with peoples of the era, at least whenever they are of a upper-class background, as is suggested of Walton, I believe that it asserts the background and foreground of who, when, where, and why we are getting this perspective, and why the future perspectives will be laid out in the format that they are, as something of a journal. It ties it all together, and, interestingly for all of our current creators, offers us something of a proto-found footage experience, as all of this is coming by way of otherwise unrooted literary extensions, hanging high as castles in the clouds. Can I launch it in? No chance. But it was a fun idea anyway. Letter 1 gave a lot of good setting, and it offered us a little bit of insight to who exactly Robert Walton is, why he's doing the things that he does. Letter 2, instead of the mere surface, gives us the depth, all of the characteristic rather than the heuristic, the intention rather than the ostension. It allowed us to see what his object is, what he's going for, to what ends, and what are the things that demotivate, harry, disturb, waver him, not to the extent that he would give up, but that gnaw at him. And what is he doing to abscond from them? What influences brought him there? And the realization that standing at the peak of a grand mountain of desire can be a very lonely place. It perfectly juxtaposes doubt and ardor, attainment and disappointment, and further adds depth to the backdrop, and now sets plaintively a single piece on the chessboard. Maybe I haven't been through here. Oh, what? Huh? Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, you stay over there. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Go that way. What letter 2 shows us, and what letter 3 reaffirms, is that juxtaposition of melancholic lows, primarily in the vein of worry, loneliness, and tumult that will ensue, bridged together by the rationalization and individuation of responsibility unto oneself, meeting with the other side, that dreamer's hope, passion, glimmering, glory, the endless yearning and burning pursuit that will be a major motif throughout the whole theme of Mary Shelley's critique of exactly that bridge and what's on the other side of it. While I don't agree with it per se, in the way that she portrays it, that getting to the other side might entail costs so stark when you're entreating upon, embarking, expediting into the truly unknown, that it may be too great to justify, even remotely, what you're getting, and that no matter what, seeking to transcend oneself so thoroughly, their lot in life, their position in the cosmic order, will require not only the sacrifice of others, but you in yourself, what defines you as such. Oh, hell! Oh, no! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Oh! What the hell? Letter 4 was a blast. It is absolutely crammed full of information, and that cram is in such an expertly ordered fashion that it makes what feels like a tremendous amount of what would amount to flavor text, things that add a little bit more seasoning to what was already there, attain a degree of substantiveness that makes it more than the sum of its parts. What that shakes out to, more than anything else, is an examination of the meta-narrative themes in microcosm, which is humorous. Given the timeline and the contents of this new traveler's stories, we will come to understand as Dr. Frankenstein himself. Not to spoil it, but all of the reaction, the uplifting, the catching on every little social beneficence bestowed upon him in a time of desperate need, absolute resignation, suicidality, is exactly the thing that he has refused to give, along with everyone else, for the following subject of the oncoming chapters. And in the moment, it holds a mirror up to Walton to see the final resting place of everything that he's pursuing, made explicit in Frankenstein's breakdown, the true heedlessness that underlines everything between both of these characters, one at the start of the journey and one at the end. Fuck this shit. It's a shitty capitalist organization. I think matters of economy are not the most immediate concern. Perhaps there's some damage to the ocular nervous structure that is a major part of the transformation. Think that the necromorphs have eyes. Let's see if we can reorient it such that we can get a closer examination. Huh. No, it doesn't look like it. At least not on this example. Here's the other one. Obviously aside from splattered across the room. See anything off of you? Stop scooting around. Let's try and get you closer to light. Ideally free from all the rest of the bits. Well, I guess the head came off. Is that damage from battle, or is that just the natural form? I've got to say, it looks like that has no eyes either. Even doing the manual zoom of just leaning forward. So if the necromorphs have no eyes, and they are predisposed to stabbing their eyes out as we continue to hear their vibes to tell us to do so, it does give some credence that perhaps either stirring up the brain pan a little bit such that it can be more readily reconfigured through the natural mechanisms of the body trying to heal itself, kind of like a cancer can do, that's the mechanism by which such rapid transformations happen. Still battlefield brain. I want to turn to face the other side. All it took was one little section of the room with the most minute of audio mixing, a little bit of animation, to set the entire scene going forward. Things were already dire as is, but having something like that happen right in front of us, showing us that not even any other human that we can see, in yet still a human form living, is trustworthy, means that not only is the environment hostile, but everything that we might encounter which is animate is probably also going to be hostile. And contributes to the whole gaslighting that we have been experiencing from the audio cues all the way around to the environmental hazards. Oh, gross. Well, good to know they've got range damage now. That's what you get for being a metaphilic. Is it for me? Is this the end? I think we can get the gist of that. Is it safe? A very underutilized question. More than any amount of setting building and the like, which is wonderful here, the mere question of is it safe, I think, pierces to the heart of what fear is, of what causes anxiety, uncertainty, panic, And I think it's only better reinforced by the question, and the answer that so many have sought for. Where is God? The search for some underlying cosmic justice or order or creator, ultimately, is the solution that so many have sought for and continue to find just as open as a question as ever. Is it safe? And where is God? Cock and cook! Oh, hell. And so can you. Oh, fuck. I just had the idea. Why am I here? You were chosen. Unitology, unity, ology, specifically unit, ology, an account of oneness, unit. What unites everything? Everything that's living? Death. Necromorph, form of the dead. Duh. Etymology, y'all. Oh. A ladybug has found its way onto my wrist. Check that out. Sweet little creature. I guess it's here to explore. These are, as it just flashed on the screen there, mim cams. Memory cameras. That means they take a snapshot of your mind, I suppose, such that if you ever reload, as you die like I did for the first time here, that calls into question whether this is the real. Is this just an offshoot, a downstream of what could have been? That we're examining through the perspective of, regardless of what canonically happened to Isaac? Was it ever him the whole way through? Calls into question the causal chain, and, at the same time, provides an explanation for how the saving and loading mechanism works. What the boundaries? Boundaries? Boundaries of this place are. Huh. I guess hypothetically, none. So long as there's oxygen to keep me going. Fascinating. Admitting that extent of freedom in level design almost gives the proper illusion that there is an infinite space out there. A dead space. Oh no. Oh, that's really bad. That's like really bad. Oxygen, thank you. I think I'll try and find a save spot before I try more of this. Did I get locked out? No, surely not. Okay. Yeah. Oh no, I did get locked out. That's really bad. Fuck. There's no coming back, is there? I'm just kind of boned out here. Yeah, okay. I guess I have to commit to the bit. What the hell? Oh, that's not a good sound. We have been taken on the journey thus far, so that we have not only the immediate suspicions of all of the horrible, heinous things that are happening here in the Ishimura, but, in fact, we have them quite confirmed. And with a little bit of putting ideas 1 and 2 together, it's very clear that we have a marker on our hands, the forspoken, prophesized bit from the Unitology religion, and it is doing something biologic, such that it not only can produce independent growths of unidentifiable matter, organic in nature, triggering not only psychologic, but also physiologic, somatic effects on each and every one of the individuals here, to almost certainly include Isaac. There's a lot of questions, and not a lot of answers that we have had provided thus far. Insofar as the game design itself, it has continued to achieve an extraordinarily high standard of cohesion and coherency, not only with itself, but all the physical things that we would expect from some sort of hyper-advanced sci-fi scenario. Despite all of those, the weapons, armor, medical, engineer, all of it all together, none of it is quite equipped for something quite like this, which is definitionally the most inhuman thing that can be imagined in this setting. The audio layering, level design, presentation is as top-notch as I have ever seen in any game, and it is truly worthy of incredible praise. Not only narratively, but also technically. Not only visually, but also mechanically. I thank you all for taking the time to enjoy this with me here today. I hope that you all find it worthy of a like, a subscribe, and if you found it maybe worthy enough, we also have links to our social media, X, Discord, Instagram, Spotify, TikTok, and BitChute, if you'd like to check out all of our social media and other places to watch our content. If you thought it was perhaps worth a little bit of monetary support, we also have Stream Elements and Patreon linked in the description there alongside. The Stream Elements link allows you to make a one-time donation without any kind of further commitment beyond that, at whatever price that you find fit, and Patreon gives you tiered returns for everything that you put in. The lowest tier is at $5 a proponent. That'll get you a number of benefits, like participating in polls for the channel, getting your name at the end of every single piece of long-form content, special access to members-only areas in our Discord, and otherwise helping me to keep this all going. That all being said, I hope that you never miss your opportunities.